All right, well let's hopefully this is gonna be good to go again. So sorry about the crazy audio things going on there. So it sounds like it's working. Not really sure what that's all about. I had to just unplug my audio interface and it was working again, which is crazy. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not really exactly sure what happened there. Yeah, so what we got going on here is an oil painting. And I am just working just on getting kind of things established value wise. And I'm using just ivory black. So this isn't like a how do I say it? Um I guess in many ways this isn't necessarily like a traditional underpainting in any way. Well, I suppose in some ways it is, but in the fact that I sealed off um, my drawing, um, I used a bunch of different techniques. I don't want to say anything about this as traditional, other than I am using oil paint. We'll say that, huh? But to keep things pretty soft during this phase, um, not using any sort of medium or thinner or anything like that. This is just right out of the tube being scrubbed, kind of pushed in there. Hey, Ryan, welcome back to the stream. Yes, I'm back at it. I am actually now moving on to the oil portion of this. I went ahead and sealed it down, and finished up my drawing, sealed it with some spray medium, and now I'm back at it doing. I actually used some GAC 100, because painting. If you've ever painted over, um, or tried to do anything over top of fixative, it can be horrible. So that's what I'm. So I use this GAC 100 and just kind of brush that over 3 layers of that, and it's really good. So, the weekend was good. We had a little family get together, my wife's side, and so we got to see some kids and obviously uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters-in-laws. It was really good. I brought my new camera and captured them, and it was really fun. Audio's good now, says Tim. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate you giving me heads up. I may have ended up going a long time, um, and not knowing the audio was bad. So thank you, Tim. for that. It's been fun to see pictures of you on Facebook, Tim. You and your beautiful, absolutely beautiful family. You know, I actually went with an old cinema camera. I'm also doing a lot of video work. And so I have an oldie but a goodie, an FS 700. It's a Sony cinema camera. It's like 8 or 9 years old, but it's beautiful. Has a good picture and everything, and I really like it. And actually, this camera right here, my main camera is I'm using it for the stream, which is kind of cool. It's kind of a multi-purpose thing. Um, thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's good to have you. This is my first time on this in this particular surface. This is an eggshell finish um, board, and then I'm painting over a super thin layers of GAC 100. So a lot of fun trips in Europe. So that's maybe what I've been seeing. Tell me about that. Tell me about that trip a little bit. What's going on in Europe? Because that's super fun. Yeah, it is. Sorry, yep. Ryan, the model is the Sony FS700R. Um, and it has some really great capabilities. Um, one of them being that it can actually output 4K RAW footage, which is insane. You're gonna Ryan says, uh, yeah, the Sony FS700R. That's correct. Yep. 1 second. And I'm back. Tim says, currently stationed in Germany. Oh wow. Okay. Excellent. You guys are doing a lot of different trips. 4 trips to the Alps. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely wonderful. Ryan says he's getting a DSL for streams. Is a constant wish list item. Yeah, he needs to bite the bullet and get it. Yeah, which one are you kind of thinking about maybe getting? Do you have your eyes on a particular one that you're like, I just want to get that? Sony A7, okay. Which model of that? There's a couple different base. Sony A7. There's a Mark II, Mark III, Sony A7S Mark III, which is beast of a video camera. Yeah, the body is like two. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard to get into um sometimes to get past how exceedingly expensive um getting into video or photography can be. You can drop a couple of grand just on the body of a camera and then you don't have any glass. And the glass is actually the expensive part. So that's where it can just be like, are you serious? Like, my gosh. I've been going through that all right now too. So I'm definitely on budget gear. But I think if you can learn how to make budget gear work, and not reliant on great gear, I think you're in a good spot. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you want to do with it. If you're just going to sit and stream with it, I think even something like the Canon M50 would be a great option. It's a really, really nice camera for what you get. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can't do with it, but Austria, Bavaria, France, Switzerland, all in one summer. Oh my goodness. So that's the one that you guys, I'm assuming that was on Facebook then. Um, all the different photos from that. That's incredible. The reason I'm scrubbing like this is so that I can still see my lines. I'm still painting very, very thinly. This paint will be ready to paint definitely tomorrow if I wanted to. We still enjoy many of your painting on our walls. That is so fun. Tip, that is so great. That was so, I really appreciate the support very much. I mean, you and many others have been extremely supportive, and I appreciate that so much. But Ryan, do you hope to do like photography along with it? Are you hoping to do just streaming or other kind of video work? It's just a lot that you kind of have to figure out as you go. And Tim, how long have you been stationed there now in Germany? All right. So what do you mean bits for the stream? A live stream holiday special. So do some recording other than just live streaming with it, what you're saying. Two years with two more to go. All right, so a total of 4 years there. Wow. That really is incredible. I really want to record me walking down the hallway in a robe. If Ferris Bueller to play on my streams. You're still here. Go home. It's over. Ah, okay. Yeah, you could do that with the M50. Yeah, that's really. It sounds like it's been an amazing opportunity, and I'm glad that you guys are making the most out of being there and going on trips and trying to see things. Is this piece gonna be black and white, or just start with the shadows? Yeah, so I am this is just an underpainting. I am starting, so if you see kind of right here on my screen, sorry, on my overlay, that's what I'm going for. So that is my color mock-up. And so what I'm gonna start with first is just getting all the shadows, just all the value correct, the way that I want it and what's feeling good. And then I am going to be just right back, okay? I mean, isn't art supposed to be just having fun, painting or making things without having to worry about a lot of, like time tracking or if I'm here or there? Now, while I understand that argument, if you're looking to maybe sell your work to do this as a full-time business or even as a part-time business, I think it's important to understand why you would want to record your time and track it and to have an understanding of holistically how much time you're spending making art. Now, when we're talking about time tracking, I'm talking about the entire project, the entire process. That's from when you first, think of the idea to when you start sketching it out, all the way through drawing to painting, or however you're making your art, all the way through to the end. And even if you're selling your work and shipping it off, all that time that it takes to do that as well. This helps you understand as a whole how much time it takes you to make art. All right, so reason number one is that it is an important factor when pricing your art. Now, I'm going to be doing a whole video on pricing your art coming out soon. Now, the time you spend creating an art piece does not determine the pricing. I'm just talking about it being a factor in helping you determine how much you should charge for a piece. For example, if you made a piece that only took you a day or two to create, or if you're oil painting and glazing for weeks on end, that's probably going to determine or affect. And I'm back. The question is, I have a question here. Doesn't it make so to do this underpainting in grayscale? Does it muddy the color or brown it when you go over it with the strong pigment? So that's a really great question, and the answer is because the way that I'm doing it. I am going to be glazing color in, and it's amazing how much is actually it's actually pretty amazing that it won't. It won't actually muddy it up, which is crazy. I typically do mine in. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages here, and I probably should turn all that off if I'm going to stream. And that'd be like the professional thing to do, but not professional. Just a little bit. Top what I'm doing here. But I didn't want to have kind of a brown, because this is going to be more, I'm going to be more using more blues and things like that. And so the black is another kind of very accepted under your painting color, if that makes sense. And I guess, to ultimately answer your question, I have thought about that too before, like why doesn't it muddy the colors? And it just must have to do with how the colors are layered on top of each other. Because it's because the painting is dry when I paint over it, okay, this is my best guess. And I probably should know the answer to this. So if anybody does know the answer, please let me know. But one of the reasons you don't paint typically with black, unless you're actually trying to get something very, very black, is that if you mix it in with your colors, it can make them very muddy. And so typically what beginners will do is they will add it to their shadows to get a darker color rather than using a complementary or something like that. And unfortunately, that can actually really just make the colors muddy. When you introduce black into a color, it's going to make it more muddy. It's going to lose its brilliance. If you add white to a color, it's going to make it more chalky. But because my understanding is that because the colors are not mixing, because when I paint over this, it will be black. I mean, it will be dry. So because I'm painting incredibly thinly right now, this will be dry probably actually in a couple hours. yeah, so the colors simply just don't mix. And yeah, that's kind of why. I hope that horrible explanation that I just gave you will make some sort of sense. But um, and in fact, some of the most beautiful paintings I think I've ever seen uh, were with where the colors were the most luminant and bright and vibrant and saturated have been colors that have been glazed in. So I don't know why it does that. Other than the idea that when light passes through the painting, as there's layers and layers of oil, the light reflects back in different ways into your eye and creates this glow and this shine. So now with this underpainting, I will not be taking it to its full range of value. So my darkest darks, these darks will be eventually be darker. And the reasons for that is so that I have room to glaze. Paintings always get darker when they're glazed. Um, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Tim. It does. There is a lot of time that goes into making a piece, um, especially when um, these kind of techniques are used, where there is just an amazing amount of prep. Not everybody uses the kind of amount of prep that I do. Um, to Now I probably did more prep on this than I typically do. So the color comp that's just above me here on the screen, um, I did that color comp, and I probably took it way further than I would. And I think there was a couple reasons for that. One, I just really enjoyed it. I hadn't been digitally painting in a while, and it was just fun. Um, and two, my previous one wasn't taken far enough. And so I was kind of at a little bit of a crossroads as to what to. So I wanted to make sure that I really had a good pathway ahead of me. Because a lot of this right now for me is just executing my color comp. Like there isn't, um, I'm not. I break up my decision making into various elements. So for example, right now, I'm really not making any drawing decisions. Oh, should that tentacle go there? Um, if that makes sense. I'm not saying I'm not making a drawing decision. I'm not even making any color decision. I've made a lot of my color decisions in the comp already. Everett, oh my goodness. Everett says the perspective of this painting adds so much depth. The intimidation of the Kraken. It's ominous. The best I've seen. Wicked awesome, brother. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's really good to have you stop by, Everett. You're a good man, a good heart, a good soul. Yeah, one of the things that I was also thinking about when it comes to making this Kraken, appear the way it does, and the with the intensity, it was how in the painting, um, his tentacles break the composition. So like here, they come in, they go out, come in. Go out and then come in. They're coming in from all over. Almost that idea that he is really, even though he hasn't done it yet, that he's really about to kind of uh, surround this guy, this poor deep sea diver. Yeah, I think when it comes to the speed at which you work, um, I think it has to, comes down to what it is, what's super important. Because like if I was working on illustrations, time, it's very important to be cruising. You don't want to spend a bunch of time, um, unless you have to. Now, I found that if you do take your time and do some good steps like sketches and drawings and color comps, it can be better than painting things over again because the client didn't like it. So, Everett, you are back up on the range, right? Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's kind of the latest. Seemed like you were doing a little bit better. That you have been doing a little bit better. And there are plenty of amazing artists who can just sit down, blank canvas, maybe a simple sketch at the most, and just paint it. Um, and I think that's awesome. I applaud, and I think that's amazing. And if you can do that and it works really well, awesome. It's getting late for Tim. He'd head to bed. It's good to watch you in your element. Yeah, hey Tim, thanks so much for just coming and saying hi, and yeah, appreciate you. Wish you the best. Happy adventures with your family. These will be memories you'll have for the rest of your life, really. These moments that you've had with them like this. So, absolutely best wishes. We'll see you later. Later. Yeah, good to see you, Tim. Bye bye. And James, And James is here. Oh my goodness. James, how are you, man? It's really good to have you on the stream, guy. Well, everybody, we got another amazing artist who just entered the stream. This guy's like can do can draw and paint, rock illustrator, and then like make and throw uh hatchets and trap his own food. Yeah, James is great. James has been like living like the wilderness lifestyle and just like loving every moment of it. Seems like your boys really like it too, don't they, James? They've been really kind of really taken to it. Everett's been working full time, putting away dough to go back to medical school. Oh, you want to do radiology technician? That's great. Write music every day. Good, oh, dude. That makes me so happy to hear that you're writing music. That makes me so happy. Oh man, I'm gonna release an album this winter. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that you got that going on. Where are you taking your inspiration these days? Like what's speaking to you musically? Good, I'm glad. Are you still in the art world vocationally, or what do you got going on, James? Then Ryan, did I lose you? Or are you still here? Oh no, no, just no, just seeing how things are going. What were you working on, Ryan? Are you streaming later today too? I'm actually gonna go for a round here and see if I can't start snagging just a little bit of some line, keep my lines going a little bit. Yeah, I know I got to catch up on all those books. I know exactly what you mean. I kind of have I kind of have a day of the week where I try to do all my invoicing and kind of stuff. I've been doing a lot of vacationing this summer, so it's nice to bill again. Yeah, for sure. Um, Ryan's asking if I have steady hands. No, I do not actually have steady hands, um, which makes sometimes what I do really, really frustrating and really, really difficult. Um, so that's one of the reasons I have like something like this. Man, that's like really close. Holy smokes. James is mostly picking up illustration work on books and some design stuff, but like you said, has been doing a lot of mentoring with young kids. Yeah. Right, you ran a couple summer camps this year. That's actually really cool. Um, is that a lot of what you're doing, kind of the outdoor? Assuming that's kind of where you're teaching kids how to do all that. That's actually really fun. That's like welcome. That's like says your artwork is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your art with us. Hey, I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, so good to have you. We're looking to just have a nice chill out a little bit. I think sometimes watching someone create is a really kind of relaxing thing to do. So come and just chill out with us. Get yourself a beverage and hang out for a little bit. We've got all sorts of different people in the chat, artists and musicians, writers, um, all sorts who come and kind of just hang out here, which is really fun. But thanks for stopping by. Yeah, you like the digital for that reason, Ryan. Ryan says his handshake, and so he likes to have digital. Yeah, I know what you mean. So I'm kind of just kind of going all over the place here, trying to um keep working kind of all over. I don't like to ever get like too crazy into one spot. Um, I want the piece to kind of come together as a whole. And sometimes that can be hard if you just kind of focus in on just one area and you're not moving on, not moving around. So, James is teaching survival skills. Having a great time. Always fun to have 16 middle school kids running around the woods throwing tomahawks, knives, and shooting arrows. That is really fun. Yeah. Do you guys do that pretty close to home, or do you have to travel? Oh, I missed a message from Everett here. Everett's our local musician in chat here. Sounds odd, but a combination of John Prine, the tallest man on earth. Oh my goodness, you have that is some random. It's kind of fusing folk influences, romantic, contemporary, classical, with modern ambience, electronic music. Okay, wow. Yeah, that is wild. So like, are you doing a little bit of keys in there as well? Then it sounds probably with your electronic in there. And James has a couple hundred acres of wood behind the house. You have a cool primitive village back there. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's really sweet. That's really cool that you have that kind of space to be able to work with. I mean, that's really, really cool. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Everett. I grew up running around the woods a lot, and a lot of outdoorsy things. We were just yesterday. I was just talking to my brother-in-law about how, like, I have the random ability to be able to not just uh, canoe, but I could troll you silently in a canoe if you want to fish, and I could um, like without lifting my paddle out of the water. James, that's what I've been up to besides painting. Yeah, so I've kind of last couple of years been crazy. We've been doing a lot of ministry work, and then now I am back out doing kind of my own thing. I'm enjoying um kind of the design world again. Um, I have um taken I've kind of taken to uh videography recently. And so I am kind of taking on videography clients, which has been really fun. I've been enjoying that a lot. Um, I think videography combines a lot of the things I love. So the visuals, um, involves music. I love music, um, storytelling. It's just kind of a lot of things where it just seems to be hitting the right spot for me. And so I've been kind of interested in doing that a lot. Um, and especially this summer here, I've really kind of pushing to do more of that kind of storytelling. Um, I think I'd like to do some documentaries. I think that would be really, really fun. Everett stay off, and he's drafting the blueprint for a cabin while watching you paint. Oh, that sounds like a perfect day. Are you going to build a cabin? Is that what you're going to? Ryan says if you ever need motion graphic for a project, I'm available. Oh, that's fun. Awesome, man. Yeah, I really love motion graphics. I had a piece a couple months ago where that was my job is to do motion graphics for a client. It was really fun. It's kind of a huge rabbit hole, really. James, are you still in Illustrator then? Painting in Illustrator? Or doing illustrations in Illustrator, I should say. Kind of vector-based stuff. James asked if I'm doing any drone work. Yeah, yeah. So I kind of go back and forth upon the drone work. I think it's really cool. One of my buddies here in town is a licensed drone operator. He's got a really nice one. He just upgraded. Um, to do it professionally, you do need a license. There are some smaller drones that if you get them, um, you can operate them just for fun, kind of as a hobby one. But if I wanted to do any sort of business with a drone, no matter the weight, I would have to go in and get classwork for it and everything like that. And I think at the end of the day, I think it's really sweet. I think they're really, really fun. I don't know if I have the right level of interest in it. So pulled out here a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So almost entirely vector work. Okay. So that was kind of when I first met you. I think you were doing just vector work, right? Yeah, guys. So James is an amazing illustrator and he's released a couple books. Um, they were in Target. I mean, it's like totally legit. So good. We met at a conference in LA, illustrators and writers conference there. I think that's where we met, right, James? I can't remember for sure. Yes. So Ryan says that the we're talking about motion graphics is the rabbit hole, and yes, it is, but he loves it. I think that's awesome. I'm realizing that doing learning cameras and filmmaking is quite the rabbit hole too. Yeah, 2012 Squibby conference. That's right. That's right, my man. Dude, I think it may even been before that. Maybe not. Maybe yeah, maybe that's the right day, the right year. So this technique that I'm working on here is just really just pushing the oil around um, without any medium, and it's kind of a weird sensation to be honest with you. It feels strange, but it's working out. But it allows me to paint really thinly and then see my line work underneath, which is really important. I don't want to lose my lines. I mean, I can barely see them. You probably can't see it very well on the screen, but there is quite a bit of line work underneath these. But it's also kind of a cool way to get a very soft look too. What's the media you used on your initial sketch on the canvas as a reddish color? So actually that is just a colored pencil. That is this pencil right here. Yeah, that's this guy right here. And it's a great pencil. Really good pencil. I used it for years. I have like boxes of them. And then that is just been sealed with a spray fixative. And then I actually painted over that very, very thinly with GAC, an acrylic medium. It's called GAC 100. It's put out by Golden. And so basically these lines are completely, all my line work is pretty much completely sealed. So I mean, if I had made some mistakes and wanted to kind of start over, I could totally do that too. But yeah, we're really cruising on this Kraken, aren't we? It's kind of crazy just to work on a piece specifically in value. Um, Sometimes there's a little bit of freedom in it where you're just kind of like, oh, I don't have to worry about color or anything right now. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I can zoom out a little bit so you kind of see the whole piece a little bit, guys. Thanks. I didn't go that far, jeez. And what will be really cool later on when I kind of come in and really start um, laying down color, glazing that in, all this preliminary work will really, really have paid off. You're like, oh yeah. Because I'm in oil, I can kind of just move everything around. I don't have to worry too much about something drawing on me or anything like that. I can kind of just keep moving and keep buffing. Yeah, the tentacles were the best part of this. And in fact, actually, the tentacles are basically this piece was an excuse to draw tentacles. I'd watched this movie. I think one of the things that's been on my mind is I watched a movie, something that's like it's like an octopus, my teacher or something. Oh man, I can't remember what it is now. I feel silly, but it was a really really good movie about this guy and his kind of interaction with this octopus that he came to visit every day, and yeah, it was incredible. Cracking cruising. That's right, Ryan. We are cracking cruising. Oh yeah, I was trying to tell you guys, and I think I forgot as I was going along. But what's really exciting is actually I am going to be in a solo exhibition, solo show coming up here um in January. And so this piece will premiere there, which is going to be really fun. I'm very, very excited, and everything's not quite, all the contracts and stuff aren't signed yet and everything. But so I can't actually say exactly where I'm going to be, but it's going to be so fun. And yeah, I'm kind of showing my return back to making art after I took that break for so long. James says, I'm from where you used to work primarily digitally. When did you go back to traditional medium? Um, yeah, no, it's a great question actually. So, when in 2017 I closed up my illustration shop because I had been fighting an arm injury for the better part of 2 years, and I couldn't beat it. And one of the things that, for whatever reason, studying my hand, it's all very connected to nerves and everything in my hand, but long story. Um, um, but the way that my hand is built, and I'm a little bit of a lanky guy, and there was some nerve compression when I would set my hand down. So actually, when I'm holding my arm up like this, and even if I'm just resting, it's not bad. But I couldn't continue on the way that I was going. So, yeah, I also I think after doing so much commission work in the children's book world, I kind of wanted to try something else, and I thought it'd be fun to see if I can actually sell some originals. Which is always kind of difficult when you work digitally. I mean, you can't really sell an original. There's NTFs now and everything, but that's kind of a huge rabbit hole. So I sell a lot of prints over the years, but not necessarily. But it'd be nice to be able to say, here's an original as well. So, and Christina is on here as well. My beautiful bride is on. Thanks for stopping in. I saw your message come in about needed to be done at a certain time. What was it? What time should I end it, and then I can work that out. Annika is back. Hello, Annika. Yes. Annika says, love to see the progress. I was here when you started sketching it in Photoshop and now real canvas. Or is this panel? Are you going to do this in oil? So many questions. Also, hi. Annika, thank you for all of the questions and for coming back. So yeah, and kind of show you a little more what's going on here. That's kind of the whole piece. Whoop. But yeah, we're just we're moving into oils right now. It's been really fun. So to answer Annika's question, yes, Annika's right. She was here when I was painting this in Photoshop on a Wacom Cintiq. The comp that's kind of above me here in the overlay, and I initially set out to do it in oils, but then I got going a little bit too far in digital, but that's neither here nor there. But so what we did is I ended up printing it out, brought it downstairs. I have an enlarger downstairs. It's an opaque enlarger. You can take you know, basically a sketch or a line drawing, and then transfer that over to anything. You know, you could put it on a, some people use it for doing murals. You could project, you know, a sketch into a mural. Some people will use it to transfer their drawing. So like when I first started illustrating, I was doing illustrations actually on paper and watercoloring them. It was really, really fun. I had a good time with that. And so I would use that projector to transfer onto the paper after I would kind of sketch them out. And but now I use that to transfer it onto this board. And this is I don't know if you can see it over here, just out of screen here, but it's a cradled masonite board that I drew directly onto. It was an eggshell finish, and then I sprayed it with some spray fix, and then on top of that, I actually layered it with some GAC 100, which is an acrylic medium. And so I'm actually technically painting on top of GAC 100. And so we're going to do an underpainting. We're doing an underpainting now just to establish all of our values. And make sure that we don't lose those. And then we will move on to glazing and color. And that will be kind of the next phase. So. Yeah, Ace actually, so the GAC 100. One second. Yeah, so this is the GAC 100. It's an acrylic primer and extender. And so it basically I mean, you could basically it is clear. I mean, it's a white, goopy, pretty runny mess, but when you paint it thinly, it's clear, and so it just works as a great way to protect the board so the oil doesn't sink into the board. I don't want it sinking in there. And yeah, and so now it's basically working as a clear gesso. I've actually never used liquid white, so I'm not entirely sure how to answer that question. I'll be right back. Yeah, so what's really nice is that right now I am painting on top of a drawing that is not getting destroyed. I could actually, right now I could wipe all this away and my drawing would be there. And so that kind of protected drawing is really, really nice to have, because, you know, I think at the end of the day too, I really, really enjoy a lot drawing. And I think when I approach art, I approach it more as someone who draws than necessarily a painter. James says he has to run in a minute. When you're planning to be live again, I'm hooked. This painting come to life now. James, that's awesome. So I typically stream on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm actually live on YouTube right now, Behance, Facebook, and Twitch. If you head over to YouTube and just follow me there and hit the bell, then it'll let you know whenever I'm live. Really nice to have you, James. Good to connect again, man. And thanks for, coming by, checking out what I got going on here, and been fun to kind of follow what you're doing a little bit on with your family on Facebook and stuff. But it'd be cool to see what you got going on artistically too. It'd be nice to catch up. So, and we got some more going on it. So T3, welcome. Annika, did that answer most of your questions? Or did that answer your question? I can't actually remember if I answered it fully. I was trying to bring you up to speed as to where I'm at with this. Actually, my next YouTube video talks a lot is digital versus traditional painting, and kind of my approach or my thoughts on that subject. And I need to get that out really soon here. Because I love them both, and I think they both have a place. I don't think one replaces the other, one is better than the other. I think they just both have really, really important places. So, and Mervin is back. Hey, Mervin, welcome back. Good to have you. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back and checking out what we got going on. Thanks for encouraging words. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, James, I'm really glad that you happened to get on today. It was really nice to connect with you again as well. And I think we're probably a Skype session overdue as well too. So take care, and we'll see you next time. And let's see, I am probably getting close to, oops. Either a break or I need to move on to other things here as well. Annika, yes, you should be painting for sure. Traditionally, why not? It's really fun. Even if it's just for you. I think there's something super amazing about just putting real paint down on this board. I feel like I'm kind of connected to my art in just a different way as I'm physically pushing and pulling this around and attempting to get it to do what I want it to do. I think there's something crazy about that. And James, thanks for the subscription, my man. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it a lot. Always good to have new subscribers on YouTube as well. I'm trying to get a channel going over there on YouTube. It's just Tall Fox Studios on YouTube. And so if you like what I'm doing here and enjoy this content, there's some kind of more compact content there, and where I just try to talk about technique and art life, um, and try to be an encouragement to those who are walking down this path. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about thinking a little more objectively about what mediums you're using, whether that's traditional or digital mediums. I think I got so interested in the digital world that I really kind of was like, oh man, I in some ways is kind of missing out on some of the really cool parts and of traditional medium. So it's kind of a show of hands in the chat. Are we just let me know if you are traditional or if you are digital. As far as if you're an artist and you're in the chat, I'd love to know kind of which one you're doing. Digital baby. Annika says it's super late for me here. First, I have to hop off, and I'll be back to see the progress. Have a great day, everybody. Hey, thanks a lot, Annika. Nice for you to stop by. Have a great night. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. Clever is here. And Annika said she started traditional and is now doing digital. Okay, right on. Trying to decide how I want to go around this guy. Do I want to hug him? Do I want to hug him pretty tightly, or do I want uh, to kind of have almost like a little glowy vignette around him? Everett's just gotten into painting with acrylics, starting up with some oil, so I'm learning right now. Raw, I know nothing of digital, but if I have any pointers for digital, I have open ears for software, hardware, graphic cards, etc. Sure. All right. So, are you looking to get into some digital then, Everett? Are you wanting? Are you wanting to do that, or? And Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. Clever, it's great to have you. Welcome. Yes, you may certainly lurk as much as you want. This deep sea painting. And James is now subscribed to the channel. Woohoo! Thanks for the subscription. Oh, that just came through now. Sorry, that I actually had already thanked you. Thank you again. Sarah, how you doing today, my dear? Welcome, welcome. And Clever, I think you just got here where the poll was digital or traditional painting if you are an artist. But I think since you're on Behance, you probably are. An artist, that is. Mervin says I've started paperwork new to artworks in general. Okay, right on. Why is everything red? So we are on the board. We're I have sealed the board, Sarah. That drawing, I sealed the board with a spray medium. And then also this guy, which is GAC 100. Boop, 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 boop. We're talking about that today. And that allows the drawing to be just kind of there permanently on the board. Cannot rub off. And now I can just kind of paint right over it. Using it as a guide as I go along. And right now I'm doing the underpainting. Typically you'll see me do this in like a raw umber or a burnt umber. But I'm doing it in this black because it's going to work better for the color palette that I'm going with. It's not a warm color palette. It's going to be very, very cool. And sometimes having the right color palette for what you're doing can be really helpful. Clever says I did a daily traditional art artist, but mostly digital back in 2019. Cannot seem to do leather work digitally yet. So some of my art if you figure that out, you should probably sell that idea. You see that most of my work is done underwater. No, it's not. It's not a niche, and I just fascinated with it really. I think it's been really, really fun to work on pieces that are underwater. Um, yeah, I guess I don't really have like a, oh, I'm gonna be like the under the sea guy or anything like that. It's just what I've been enjoying recently, I guess. Sarah, was that a good enough recap? Right now, though, because there's no medium, I'm not using any medium, I'm not using any thinner or anything like that. But because I'm so thinly painting, this will be dry in just a little bit. Definitely overnight. Um, and I can start some more layers. I'll probably do, just because I won't have enough time to finish the underpainting, I'll just keep doing the underpainting until it's kind of at a spot where I'm feeling comfortable with it. And then I'll start glazing in color, which is really, I think, the most fun part of the whole piece is to have the color really kind of come to life. Um, Mervin else, do you teach sketching and painting? I don't. Yet. That is a goal of mine. I have done one-on-one mentorships. I am starting a YouTube channel right now. You can head over to Tall Fox Studios on YouTube, and there is going to be instructional pieces on there. This fall, I will have hopefully, if everything goes well, I will have a course available in how to combine digital and traditional mediums. And in fact, it's gonna go the other way, actually, starting traditionally and finishing digital, which is kind of wild, but oh, sure. Did I just do that? Did this just happen, or how long has this been sitting there? That's too bad. If I really wanted to move that, I could just hit that with oil and pick it up, but I'm actually just gonna leave it for now. It's not a big problem. Um, it will not be an art, like beginning art. Like there'll need to be some understanding of some of the basics. Um, it'll make some assumptions that you know some of the basics of art. I hadn't really thought about doing an actual, like, the basics of art piece, but maybe that'll be something that I could do in the future, or at least think about it. I don't necessarily fancy myself a teacher. I think that skill is incredible, and I think those who have it are amazing. Marlon, welcome. I think welcome back. Actually, have you? If I remember it, I think Marlon's been here before. It's hard to keep track of everybody, but I think Seen you on here before. Mm-hmm. Ready. Well, this is kind of where we're sitting right now. We've made some awesome progress today on this piece. Um, but I do have to get to some other things here today. Um, but at least we're getting our underpainting going, and we'll we'll have quite a bit more work to do as we go. Um, but we got quite a bit of the Kraken kind of fleshed out. Um, Eventually he'll need to go considerably darker, but we'll need to glaze him back because obviously like this has no pigment on it, and this is obviously not gonna be white. This isn't the sea. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything that's gonna be actually white in this piece, so it'll be completely covered. But I'll take some questions before I head out. And Mervyn says, I really like your artwork on your profile, the kids reading and playing the kind of island. Very nice piece of work. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was actually a really fun one to do. I think that was for Cambridge University, if I remember right. And Mervyn wants to know how I came up with the concept of this art. I just really like Under the Sea pieces. I love uh, kind of the mystery of the deep. There's a mystery of the deep. That is really amazing to me, that we kind of know more about some parts of the stars than we do what's under the ocean, and I think that's pretty crazy. And so I've never kind of done like a big piece like this under the sea, and so I thought, hey, well, let's get working on this here today. And so yeah, I wanted to do oils because oils have been a kind of a love of mine recently, and so that's why I kind of decided to do it this way. So, um, and having kind of the guide like I do right up there, that little image there, that little color comp kind of helps keep us going in the right direction too. So, um, Clever asks, is this gessoed board? It is gessoed board. It's kind of it's a couple things. One, it's an acrylic gesso that was like an eggshell finish. It's very, very smooth, but not glass-like. Pretty smooth, and that has a tooth to take pencil, which is really nice. And then I just spray fixed it, and then applied this GAC 100 to it very thinly in 3 layers, using and let them dry between each. Just using hair dryer, and dried it. And then so the drawing is now sealed and part of the board, and then some actually painting on top of the GAC 100 in oils. So but yeah, it's really good to. Thanks so much everybody who tuned in. Yeah, you're welcome, Clever. It's really good, really great. Michael Powell says underwater is his niche. Awesome. Fantastic. I think that's great. I don't have a niche, but I like to, maybe that should be mine. Who knows? Um, yeah, thanks for everybody who joined. Really great to have you. Make sure to follow me on YouTube, Telfox Studios. On Instagram as well. Just so that you can see. All right, if you're on Twitch right now, make sure to subscribe so that you can be part of this the journey of this. We won't do all of it on stream, but I've done a lot of it on stream already. So yeah, really looking forward to finishing this piece. Thank you so much for everybody who came out. Much love to you. Remember that you are creative, and that you are important, and that you matter. And we'll see you on the next stream, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.